Administrators, delegates, guests, and beloved colleagues, greetings in the name of the Master Teacher, Jesus Christ. It is both an honor and a sacred responsibility to share how God has led the Education Department. This interactive report reflects our collective efforts, analyzed with care, synthesized with insight, and guided by divine purpose. May you be inspired as we look back, give thanks, and move forward in faith. Let's take a dive.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We often talk about education transforming lives, but what does that really look like in practice?
It's more than just books and tests, right?
Exactly. It's about shaping character, purpose, impacting a whole community. It's a huge task. And today, we're diving deep into an education system that seems to be really, genuinely attempting that. Our source is the North Caribbean Conference Education Report. It covers 2021 right through to 2024.
And it gives us this really interesting window into how things work across 5 islands: St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. Eustatius, Tortola, and St. Martin. Quite a spread.
Definitely.
So our mission today isn't just to, read you the report. We want to pull out the key insights. What's the real impact? What did they achieve?
And what challenges are they facing?
Exactly. We'll be looking at the key moments, the people involved, and the actual numbers from these 4 years.
And the system itself, just for context, it's got 5 primary schools, 3 high schools, and 2 early childhood centers. So quite comprehensive.
Yeah, it is. And they operate under this motto: transforming lives one student at a time.
Which really sets the tone.
It does. And guiding all of this are 5 strategic priorities. They keep coming back to these: spirituality, quality teachers, academic excellence, safe and functional schools, and finance.
So those are the pillars.
Pretty much, yeah. They seem to shape everything they do.
Okay, so let's unpack that, starting with the first one. Spirituality. How does a school system actually weave that into, everyday life, not just a class period?
Well, the report gives some really interesting examples. It seems quite active.
Like what?
So in 2024, high school students went on this mission trip to Panama, and they were involved in evangelistic meetings too, really sharing their faith.
Wow, that's quite hands-on.
It sounds like it. And then closer to home, there's this annual tradition in St. Croix. The SDA school students serve Thanksgiving lunch to senior citizens.
Oh, that's lovely. A real act of service.
And the report lists other things too, regular activities like School's Day of Prayer, Weeks of Prayer, Adventist Heritage Week, education conventions, Uniform Day. It feels quite embedded.
Right. And does the report connect this to, actual outcomes?
It does. And this number really jumped out at me. Over the 4 years, 65 students made personal commitments to Christ and were baptized.
65? That's significant.
It really is. It suggests that the spiritual focus is having a deep personal impact, not just, surface level stuff.
Okay, so from shaping hearts, let's talk about the foundation for academics. Quality schools, quality teachers. That's the next priority, right?
Right. And the report stresses their commitment to technology-rich environments, getting students ready for the digital age.
Is there anyone specific they mention?
Yeah, they actually commend teacher Yasana John from the BVI school, specifically for her commitment to using technology and innovation in her teaching.
That's great to see individual recognition.
It is, and it speaks to the system valuing that sort of forward thinking.
What about the schools themselves? Overall quality?
Accreditation is a big point here. All the institutions kept their accreditation from the Adventist Accrediting Association.
Which is important for credibility.
Absolutely. And what's really notable, in 2024, 2 schools, St. Martin and St. Eustatius, got the maximum 5-year accreditation term.
5 years. That sounds like a strong endorsement.
It really is. It suggests they're not just meeting standards, but they have, a solid, sustainable setup. Gives you confidence.
The teachers. Who are the people making this happen on the ground?
Well, there are 91 teachers in the system, and the report notes that over 90% of them have at least a bachelor's degree.
Over 90%. That's impressive. Speaks volumes about the qualifications.
Definitely. And they seem serious about professional development, too. It's all quantified.
Okay, like how?
So back in 2021, 33 teachers were commissioned. That's like a formal recognition. Then just this year, 2024, 10 educators finished the IAD Principals Certification,
IAD.
Inter-American Division. It's a specific certification for leading Adventist schools.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, there are over 20 educators doing the SDA Teacher Certification Program.
So a continuous investment in their skills.
Yeah, it looks like an ongoing systemic effort.
All right, so we have this foundation of spirituality, quality schools, qualified teachers. Let's get to the results. Student achievement. How are the kids actually doing?
Well, this section of the report is pretty packed, lots of success stories.
Good, let's hear them.
Okay, so the schools in St. Croix and St. Thomas St. John, they consistently have students getting early admission into the University of the Virgin Islands, UVI.
That's a great sign of college readiness.
For sure. And they name names, too.
Yeah.
Let's see, Abigail Rose, Amriel Williams, Danny Phillip, Leona Reverier, also Anjanus Williams, Janisha Cardin, Rosalie Faulkner, and Eden Smith. So, clearly a strong pipeline there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What about the other islands?
In the BVI, the British Virgin Islands, they had an 87.5% pass rate in the CXC exams.
CXC, those are the big regional high school exams, right?
That's them. So 87.5% is a strong showing. And get this. In 2023, the top 2 students in the entire BVI came from their SDA school, Anaya Williams and Kimo Foye Jr.
Wow, number 1 and 2, that's huge.
It really is. And then there's this individual story, Aviel Edwards.
Okay.
In 2024, at just 14 years old, passed 7 CXC subjects and got a distinction in math.
14. 7 subjects. That's incredible.
Exceptional, right? It hints at some serious talent and maybe some accelerated pathways.
No kidding. What about the Dutch islands, St. Martin and St. Eustatius?
They're doing well, too. The report says they consistently perform above the national benchmarks in their foundation-based education exams. The Ministry of Education reports confirm it.
Okay, so strong academics across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Any other honors?
Oh, yeah. BVI students got into the National English Honor Society, and then they went to the International Conference in Pittsburgh,
Wow.
won first and second place in literary trivia,
Nice.
and St. Thomas St. John students also got placed in the National Honor Society.
It sounds like they're really encouraging academic excellence.
They are, but it's not just traditional academics either. Vocational education is really taking off.
Oh, like shop class.
Kind of, but maybe more formalized. All schools have agriculture programs, and St. Croix introduced plumbing and electricity.
Practical skills.
Very practical. And students who complete these get certified by NCCER. That's the National Center for Construction Education and Research. So industry-recognized credentials.
That's valuable.
Super valuable. And they give a shout-out to Mr. and Mrs. Romeo Christopher for their commitment to these programs.
Good for them. Anything else academically?
Yeah, successes in science fairs, spelling bees. The usual school competitions, they seem to be active there, too.
Okay, so academically strong. But you mentioned holistic development earlier. What about outside the classroom? Extracurriculars?
Right. The report shows a really vibrant extracurricular life. Seems like they want well-rounded students.
So what kind of activities are we talking about?
A real mix. St. Martin and BVI had kids in spelling bees, swimming, even golfing.
Golfing, okay.
Yeah. St. Eustatius did the Big Live Nature quiz and swimming. BVI students were also into video creation, football, volleyball, archery, even creating podcasts.
Wow, embracing modern media, too.
Seems like it. St. Croix students apparently dominated the Virgin Islands Agricultural Fair for 3 years straight, 2022, 2023, 2024.
The consistent winners.
And St. Thomas St. John competed in interscholastic meets, basketball, volleyball, standard sports stuff.
Got it.
But here's something interesting: legal simulations. The U.S. high schools, St. Thomas and St. Croix, excelled in the Virgin Islands Bar Association moot court competitions.
Moot court. Like mock trials.
Exactly. And it culminates in 2024. Remember Rosalie Faulkner, who got early admission to UVI? She was named best speaker in the entire territory for the moot court competition.
Best speaker in the whole desk. That's outstanding. Public speaking, critical thinking.
Huge achievement. And the talent just keeps coming. At the 2024 CARU Talent Parade, CARU is the Caribbean Union Conference.
Good.
Rosalie Faulkner again. First in impromptu speech, third in prepared speech.
Versatile.
Right. And Brunella Twinkle Joseph won the talent category overall, while J. Jonah John got second place in talent.
So performing arts is strong, too.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
And one more, Anelia Graham from St. Croix got second place in the Vasis Poetry Recitation Contest in 2023.
It really paints a picture of students exploring all sorts of talents.
Definitely beyond just hitting the books.
Okay, this all sounds incredibly positive. But running schools across 5 islands, that must have practical challenges.
Right.
What does the report say about enrollment and, well, the money side of things.
Yeah, it gets into that. So enrollment figures. They started the 4 years with 953 students.
Okay.
And ended with 923. So a very slight dip overall, just 0.03%. Pretty stable, actually.
That is stable, considering it's over 4 years and across islands.
It is. Primary enrollment held steady. Secondary, it fluctuated a bit more, down about 8.7% in 2022, then up 6.9% in 2023, then down again 7.4% in 2024.
So some movement there.
A little volatility. But on the plus side, they started 2 preschools, St. Eustatius and St. Cray. They're small, about 50 kids total now, but that's important.
Feeder programs, right,
Yep.
for future enrollment.
Exactly. Which is needed because the report is honest. They do have low enrollment challenges, specifically at the St. Croix and St. Thomas St. John schools.
So what are they doing about that?
Well, establishing more preschools is one strategy. They're also offering scholarships for students who need financial help.
Making it more accessible.
Right. And boosting their marketing and community engagement. Trying to get the word out.
Makes sense. And financially, running all this must cost a lot.
It does. And the North Caribbean Conference, as the main stakeholder, has put in a lot of money. Over $6.7 million in subsidies just in these 4 years.
$6.7 million. Wow.
Yeah.
That's serious commitment.
Huge commitment. It underscores how much they value this education system, but there are still financial pressures.
Meaning
The schools still owe money back to the wider organization. As of the report, the figure was $166,887.33.
Okay, so about $167,000. It highlights the need for ongoing support and careful management.
Definitely. Financial sustainability is clearly an ongoing focus.
So, despite all the successes, the report is candid about challenges. We mentioned low enrollment in some places, finances.
Right.
What else?
Yeah, it lays them out clearly. Besides low enrollment and finances, the other big ones are high teacher attrition.
Teachers leaving.
Keeping teachers can be tough, which leads to the next challenge, difficulties in recruiting new teachers.
A tough cycle. Attrition and recruitment issues often go hand in hand.
They do, especially, attracting talent to island locations can have unique hurdles.
Cost of living, maybe?
Competition.
Could be various factors. But these are the key challenges listed. Enrollment, attrition, recruitment, and finances.
Seems like significant hurdles. They are, but the report frames them as, and I quote, real, but not insurmountable.
So there's a sense of optimism.
Definitely. It suggests they're facing these issues head on with, faith, planning, and community support. Resilience seems key.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what's the big picture from this deep dive? It feels like a system that's achieving a lot on many fronts.
I think so. You see this strong spiritual core, clear academic achievements, thriving extracurriculars.
And they're also tackling real-world problems like enrollment and finance. It's not just a glossy picture.
No, it's quite transparent, and the level of dedication from everyone involved really comes through the administrators, teachers, parents, the conference itself.
Inspiring, really.
It is, and the report makes a point to thank everyone. The NCC administrators, Dr. Hilary Bowman, the former education director at CARU, Dr. Daphne Magloire, the current director.
Acknowledging the leadership.
Right. And the NCC Board of Education, the local school boards, principals, teachers, parents, pastors, churches, the whole community.
Takes a village, as they say.
It certainly seems to here. They even give special thanks to the late Sylvia O'Garo, an administrative assistant, and Mrs. Jackie John for her ongoing admin support.
Important roles.
Crucial ones. And there's a personal note, too, thanking family Silene, Sylvester, and Elder Roosevelt Joseph for their support.
That's a nice touch. Shows the personal investment. So that brings us to our final thought for you, the listener. We've seen this comprehensive system trying to live up to its motto, transforming lives one student at a time. It makes you think. What parts of this kind of holistic education, the spiritual, the academic, the practical skills, the character building, what do you think is most vital for preparing young people for the future? Especially a future that's, well, always changing.
That's a great question. How do all these pieces fit together to equip someone for whatever comes next?
Exactly. Something to mull over. Definitely a lot to learn from this deep dive into North Caribbean education.